Hello and welcome to how I play my level 125 mage in Everquest. So this is, as I said, how I play my character. So this might not be the best way to play it. This might be, terribly wrong. I box box with 6 characters. And I mostly use this character as a box character, but I've spent a little bit of time reading all the AAs and going through everything to try to find the synergies that work for me. So hopefully this will help you. Today we're going to go over all the spells I have on my bar. We're going to go over how I have extended target up, so how some of my hotbar buttons work. And we'll talk about buffs, we'll talk about gear, we'll talk about all that stuff. And let's get started. So at 125, you can memorize 13 spells with one spot always being twin cast. Now there is, if you go back to whatever the level 85 raid was that it came out in, you can get rank 2 and rank 3 to do through some process there, if I'm not mistaken, and upgrade that. I think it gets a little bit longer duration or something like that, but you want that at all times. I use it on cooldown, but your mileage may vary. Next up, I have a Ravening Servant, which is the level 125 swarm pet. When you cast it, it will summon a little pet. So if we just cast it like this, and you see that gargoyle right there, he is the pet. He just goes out. He can off tank some, blue mobs. He can off tank some normal mobs. He pulls aggro on mission bosses, so he's very useful in my thing, but at the same time it also gives conjurers synergy, because it is the synergy spell for mages, which increases the base damage of one level whatever spell by 105% damage. So the next spear, maybe full sight of the mini also trigger it. So the next spell will trigger that and get 105% extra damage. Now if we look at that again, it's fire or chromatic. So chromatic would be some of the like cleric spells and other stuff, so you got to keep that in mind when you're doing that. Now depending on your other boxes, other people in the group, they're going to want to do fire spells to trigger that, or chromatic. So it is what it is. Then full sight of the many is the next spell we have here. Burns your target with an elemental bolt. The bolt is magnified by nearby summoned creatures, dealing 11,522 damage between 1 and 2 pets, 48,000 damage between 3 and 6, 86,000 between 7 or more, actively fighting the target. Now, this means he wants a lot of pets, and it benefits you to have more pet classes around. Now, I box a necromancer, a shaman, the mage, the bard has some pets it throws out, and that's about it. And another group I have going, I have 2 mages, so it's even more chaotic. It's just constant stuff. I think 3 or 4 mages would make this just do so much damage, but that would be more of a raid situation. So the more pets you have out, I constantly on cooldown, I'm doing all like Host of Elements, which is an AA that gives more swarm pets, 3 of them. The swarm pet plus our natural pet, and then I believe there's some other little clickies in here. We'll get to those when we start talking about the multi-bind, but it's a lot of pets and a lot of damage coming out of that spell. Now, Spear of the Molten Dicite is my bread and butter spell, if you will. This is the big nuke I use. This is 88,000 damage. It's fire damage, so it triggers with the synergy if it happens to work at the same time. This is focused by Spear of the Molten Shield right here. You can see here, I don't even have the focus all the way up on this current spell, so I would probably benefit from using the previous Molten Lucanite one right now, but I'm too lazy to change it. Chaotic Magma is strikes your target with elemental fire, causing 65,000 damage, and then triggers magma chance, which then can give you some buffs. Just depends on what you get. So you either get a negative or you get positives. So that's kind of nice. See, it refreshes all spells except Twin Cast. Jolt reduces your hatred by 50,000. Different things, different little effects. This one will increase. This is like 150% extra damage on the spell. So if we like click him, cast it. Where does that little buff go? I don't know where it goes. Maybe we didn't get anything out of that. Here, let's go spells. No, I don't see it. I would expect the buff somewhere. Let's click that again. There we go. Flames of Power. 3 charges that do 150% damage. So that is insane. I use that on cooldown. Ecliptic Companion. This is the Knight of Shadows Ecliptic line. Progressive spell, if you will. It just increases the pet. It's like a little pet buff. Increases the melee skills by damage by 160%. Heals for 25,000 every 6 seconds. Increases all stats. Just crazy stuff. And then it does this proc, which does 39,000. This goes on the pet, and I believe it hits other pets. Let's. I should probably know that, right? This window's locked. So this is my Necromancer. I don't see it landing. So it just affects the Mage's pet, which is fine, right? I mean, it's not a big deal. But it's nice. Gather Zeal. This is a spell to... It's kind of like the Wizard line Harvest. It just gives you mana back. It's a long cast time. You can see here. It takes a little while. I finally hit a point on this character where I do not have as many mana issues. I had about 929 mana regen with, I believe that's with... No, my bard is not even singing right now. So 929, that's a lot of, a lot of AA, a lot of mana regen stuff. So that's, been useful there. Valiant Symbiosis. This is another kind of mana regeneration thing. This gives us 106 mana regeneration and takes a little bit of resources from the pet. Yeah, 14,000 from the pet. Creates a shield. This is, I keep it up as much as I possibly can. It's only a short duration though, so it's kind of annoying. I don't see it over here though. Where is it? I got clarity at the moment too. There it is. 20-minute duration. So it is what it is. You just got to remember to keep that up. That'll keep us, as much mana as we can. Clarity is a must. So if you're not boxing an enchanter, or you don't have an enchanter in your group, you want to get that. Now, current level clarity lasts for 4 hours and plus. 4 hours plus. I don't know how long that actually was because I've actually been playing this morning. So you want to have the highest level clarity you can get at all times. Igneous Veil cloaks your target in Molten Veil for 10 minutes. Flames will lash out at attacking creatures for 17,000 points of damage. So this is a 17,000 point damage shield. I keep this on my tank as much as I can, especially like when I'm going into stuff, because he can get damage shields that are pretty crazy. If we go here to damage shield, 25,000 point damage shield, 19,000 damage shield. It just depends on what I had going on at the time. There's another 5,000 just randomly. So the damage shield adds up. I mean, Depends on what you're fighting, you know, how often you do it. But I do not believe that stacks with the Druid damage shield line that comes from the same kind of thing. So you got to pick and choose there. Boiling Skin, another damage shield. This is another 19,000 damage shield. It only lasts for 30 seconds and does 4 strikes. Still worth putting on the target, especially like when you have that moment before you pull something big, like a named or something like that. It's really good to just, you know, click that onto your tank, and he will take away more. Be a whole lot better when it comes to you know, those extra things. And then if you have a set Shadow Knight instead of a Paladin, like, you know, you could have, Shadow Knights actually get an AA that focuses damage shields more, so there's some synergy there that would be beneficial. Call of Heroes, this is my #1 used spell. If there was a spell counter, I use this spell more than anything. This will summon your entire group to wherever you are. Now, if you watch any of the videos, I use this damn near constantly. I hate moving the characters individually. It's just annoying. So like in the tower missions, I run up to the door with the mage, I call everybody, and then I just have to click each window to click over to the thing. It just saves me time. It's the best. I will always have a mage in any group I make because of this one spell. In the lesser version, Call a Hero, which just is now an AA. You can also cast a spell at 55, but it's, you know, summons the person to you, and it's the most valuable spell to me as a boxer. It might be not as valuable to you if you're not boxing, but it is fantastic. And then here I have Recruitment of Air. So I'm using an air pet right now. I like the stun. I feel like the stun is beneficial to me, especially on the final Fungu mission, or whatever, however you say that. But because the last boss requires stuns to unlock, and I don't go out of my way to stun him, and it just unlocks. I don't know if it's the pet. I have, you know, my Bard has stun weapons. My Necro has a stun thing. So it just depends, you know, but I feel like the air pet works really well for me. I think the water pet would be more damage. And if I really wanted to go a little bit harder, I could use the earth pet and have it taunt. But I do that with my necro pet. I have the air pet taunting. They don't die. The way I have everything set up between all the different synergies going on, there is so much healing going out that nothing can die unless it's overwhelming force that I can't handle. And then the last spot is kind of just like a catch-all, I believe. Let me check here. Let me change this spell. Like I have these macros here. I'll show them here in just a second for casting spells without having to like search through my book. See what that changes to when it memorizes the old spells. Yeah, I think that was just a blank spot that just gets whatever spell was there. But there's simple little macros, you know. Pause 50, mem spell slot 13, then the name of the spell, and then pause for the duration of the refresh, or for the cast time of that spell, and then, you know, mem spell set, whatever you call that, right? I have mine, like, I was doing them by level, and I just called it current because I got sick of doing that. I was trying to, like, you know, so I could, if I over leveled for one of these videos, I could go back to what I was using then, but it just hasn't been a problem. So it's that's the spells. Now, while we're talking about spells, let's talk about some of these buffs I got going over here. So I have an aura, arcane disinlun. I can't even see it. Is it distillect? I think this is distillect. Let's look at it here. So if we go here to pet, no, it's miscellaneous buffs. Aura. So this is a pet buff aura, which creates improves pet damage. Now, from what I understand, I think it lands on the other pets. Now, let's see if I can find it here. This is my Necromancer. Let's see if I can find the buff on him. I could have swore I saw it at one point in time, but I could be wrong. There it is, right there. So, how does that work, right? Increases the pet damage, increases all pet damage. Just not my pet, all pets. So the shaman pet gets buffed. The summoned, I think the little, let's do this here. Let's do ravaging. Look at that right there. Arcane Disselect. All the swarm pets get it. Now we'll do the necromancer here. Target him. He has swarm pets too. Just to kind of show this and what it does. There we go. Arcane Disselect. Everything gets bonus damage from this spell. You want this up at all times. The duration is like unknown. I have no idea. Sometimes it wears off, sometimes it doesn't. I have no idea. The auras need to be reworked and fixed, but you want that up at all times. Next is damage shield. As a mage, right? We get two, big damage shields, right? In Inga's Veil and Boiling Skin. We want those on well, I guess this isn't a damage shield as much as just a proc that you put on your tank, but the concept's there. My mind is a thing. You get like almost 20,000 damage from this damage shield, plus what is this one? Circle of Forgotten Forge Coat or Forge Fire Coat. You want this on at all times. I have a simple macro to do it. It's like a 2-hour, almost 3-hour duration. I cast this constantly in like whenever I go to guild lobby to try to beg for a clarity. I cast all my buffs from all my characters, and you just want this on at all times on your tank, at least if you don't have the group versions and stuff like that. But the higher level stuff here is 100% group all the time, from what I understand. Next, I cast Ice Flame Palisade. This is a pet buff. Now, let's see if we can click it real quick. Cloaks your pet in an Ice Flame ward, which deals 4,222 cold damage to any creature that strikes your pet, and grants it a chance to do Ice Flame Strike 11 Asia. Deals 10,000 cold damage and reflects Prism Skin to the caster, which then absorbs the next 2 melee strikes. Now, this would, in my theory, like my thought process, this is a kind of a tanky pet buff. That's what it sounds like to me, and it works out. Like, I keep it on. It's a buff. It has like, oh God, what's the duration on this thing? What is the icon? It's so hard to find spells. Here it is, right here. It's like a 2-hour and 50 minutes, maybe longer. I think I just recast it, right? So about 2 hours, almost 3 hours duration. You just put it up, put it on. If your pet takes damage, I have all my pets taunting, so they take damage. It might do its little thing, so it's worth having there. Next is Burnout, which is our pet haste. Let's go ahead and get that one refreshed real quick. So here we go. Burnout infuses your elemental companion with energy, increasing their melee damage by 25%, attack speed by 185%, attack rating by 414, armor class by 60, and strength by 85. Now that is insane. You want that on your pet at all times, no matter what. So Ice Flame and Burnout all the time. Just keep them on there. No, there's no loss for you having that on there. All right. Let's see here. Any other spells of interest? No, we'll cover all that other stuff in AA. So my hotbar is based on how I multi-box and how that is also a multi-bind. So you can kind of see here, like I have all these spells, they all have the same button, right? In Everquest, you can multi-bind your keys in one of two ways. So you can set all your keys to the same button. So I have everything on 5 and I have everything on 4. Now for the mage, that doesn't matter because it's like I need 2 buttons because I have characters that do dots and I have characters that do direct damage. I don't want the mage to stop doing damage while I'm doing dots, and I don't want the dot characters to just spam dots while I'm trying to do direct damage, right? So it makes sense that I use IS Boxer to do my multi-boxing. So when I push, let me turn off. So it's just going to be the Mage. I have key maps off. I do Alt Shift M to turn key maps on and off. So that just disables or enables the repetion. So if I hit 4, watch all this, right? All my AAs there got activated, and the first spell, Twin Cast, got activated. If I hit it again, Companion gets activated. If I hit it again, Servant, Fizzled. If I hit it again, I get Palisade Mini. If I hit it again, Magma. If I hit it again, Companion's Aegis. If I hit it again, Spear. See what I'm saying? It goes through all the different AAs that are down here, and they get all activated. So kind of that's how that works. So as I go through here, I'll explain all of that in more detail. So I have an assist button, which is X target 19. So X target 19. So there's 20 targets on the extended target window. 1 through 6 is my group. All 6 of my characters have the exact same layout of characters. They're all in the same order. That is so that if I'm looking at a different screen, everybody is in the same spot no matter what, and I can use that information. Now early on, that's pretty useful because I'll have to heal stuff. But as I got higher and higher, I did not need to ever do a single target heal to a certain person except for the tank. So it's just the way it is. So from 7 to 18 is whatever's on the extended target. Now the combat dummies do not get on the extended target because of how they work, so they don't aggro you back. But if I had ads in the group, say these Fire Elemental and all that junk was ads, they would show up here. And then down here at X target 19, I have the group assists target. So you set that like just clicking group assist target, right? Down here I have the group tank. Now why do I have the group tank on there when I have them up here at the same time? Now, if I'm grouped with somebody else, or, say I want somebody else to be the tank besides Holdridge because Holdridge personated into something else, I can do that. And then all my stuff down here for my macros, I target the tank. I don't target Holdridge. I target whoever is set as the tank. So X target 19 is whoever is the made assist, which doesn't have to be who it is now, right? So I don't have to think about it. X target is near instant, right? So if I go over here and I click this target right here, and then I go over here, it's already set. Like if I could put the two windows next to each other, I could show it that as soon as he clicks that, it's already here. So like in your traditional macro, you have like it's like something, I think, what is it? Like pause. Jeez, home row is not in the right spot. All right, pause 5, comma, target, or assist main, right? That's the TLP before level 20 assist macro. I don't do that. It's slow. That 0.5 second pause just messes up things. So X target 19 instantaneously targets the X target, which is the assist target. I do a pet swarm, and then I do a pet attack. So pet swarm will make my swarm pets. So if I go here, so my swarm pet is over here on that guy. If I hit assist, he's going to switch instantly over to that guy, which is the target that Holdridge is currently targeting. And my pet attack. So pet attack, whatever. Now I could do pet Q. So if we go right click here, you can do, where is it at here? Q attack, Q swarm, which will queue it up. So this target would have to die, and then they'll switch over. I was doing that for a while, but it's not the way I want it to be done right now. I used to do it. I don't do it anymore. It just works out better for me to have my targets instantly switch, because if something needs to happen to this guy, I need everybody off that as soon as possible. And at the same time, if these pets taunted him, it will stay attacking them, or it will attack my paladin. It just depends on the situation. And then I cast 1, which is twin cast. I make sure that is always activated. It's the first in the multi-bind, so I probably don't even need it there anymore, but I make sure it's there just so that this button has purpose. And then I have use item modulation shard. So there is an AA ability right here. Summon Modulation Shard. So this is 8. This is the level 125 Mod Rod, which consumes 120,000 hit points for 40,000 mana. You get 3 clicks out of that. I use Mod Rods like pretty much on cooldown because every single one of my characters has it in their assist button. I use a Mod Rod. I have so much passive healing from all the AoE healing that I do that I don't even have to consider the effects of losing that health. Why? I gotta turn that off before he dies. But it works out pretty well. So that's my assist. And then I have burns. Let's go into the burns and we'll go into the multi-bind. Kind of jump down there and make it a little bit more. Actually, no, let's do the multi-bind first. Then we'll go through everything else. That'll probably make more sense. All right, so as I said, if I hit 4 or if I hit 5, all this stuff happens. And it's not really random. It's more like down the line. But the AAs will activate on their own time. So, Twin Cast is the first spell. Ecliptic Companion, Ravaging Servant, what the hell does that even say? My eyesight is going. Ravening Servant. There we go. And then of the many, Magma, Spear, Zeal. So I will take a DPS loss to Zeal just because I am boxing. I would not put this if I was playing this character as just this character. I would not put this in my multi-bind, but since I am boxing this character 99% of the time, I wanted her to use Zeal on cooldown to get that extra 29,000 mana back on cooldown. And then Arcane Whisper. This reduces our hatred on the target. Host Developments summons more Swarm Pets. 3 level 120 2s. I don't have the AA max yet. I think it'll eventually be like 125s or so. Force of Elements consumes mana to deal 34,000. Just that almost insta-cast nuke. Just have it on cooldown. Servant of Ro, which summons a... because it's not maxed out. Summons a 116 Servant of Ro to cast spells. So this one does 120,000 damage every 3 seconds for 60 seconds. A lot of damage coming out of that guy for sure. Then Companion of Necessity summons a level 110. As I guess this AA never got updated. Distracts the target, and it will kind of put more pets out on the field. Plus, it will taunt the target, which in theory saves me from dying sometimes. Sometimes I pull and I know it's bad until I get it under control. But there we go. And then turn summoned. Now this doesn't do anything unless it's a summon mob. Does 600,000 damage to a summon or elemental target. Now, turn summoned. That's the right spell. And then it goes up to more. It's probably like 1 million at max level or something like that. There are not that many elemental or summon mobs for the most part. There are some in the first zone in Glorian's Song, but I never really pay attention. It's just extra free damage that I do, and it doesn't do anything. Like if I target this guy right and I just spam this, like it doesn't. I don't have a negative effect. Sometimes you spam spells and it will just try to cast it and mess up. There's no negative effect for spamming turn summon, from what I can tell. Companion's Aegis, which just consumes mana to bless your target with a shield, absorb 12 hits up to 50,000 per hit. It's not maxed out yet, but it's one of the things that helps him, the pet, be able to tank a little bit better when he is taunting. All the pets are taunting at the same time, so that's the Necro, the Shaman, and the Mage pet. And I'm casting Companion's Aegis with all of the characters that can cast it, so that the pets are doing that while the Paladin is full taunting too. So that just distributes the damage out and helps absorb that damage that way. Elemental Conversion So this will consume 120,000 health from your pet and give me mana. I do this on cooldown. It's instantaneous. You see there, the pet lost almost nothing when it comes to that. Now if I go over to like the cleric and just cast one spell, the pet's already full. It probably didn't even need the cleric to do anything, but the cleric is constantly AoE healing the group plus whatnot. So there's a lot of splash healing going on through the shaman and through the paladin here with splash. So it's not even something I think about damage wise. But that is my multi-bind. It does decent damage for me. I don't have the parser over right now, but I'll probably do parsing in the update to this in December when we have the new spells, so that we can replace the ecliptic spell with the 125 version from I think it's called the Outer Brood is the name of the next expansion that's coming out. So when that's out, we'll have all that updated. I feel like it's a better time to do like the DPS parsing, because you're not at 125 in Lorien's Song. You're not as strong as you're going to be as 125 in the next expansion, right? And I think that's a good one for showing damage. And by then I should have full AAs to actually show damage. Like, that's actually good. I think I'm missing probably 20 to 30, maybe 40,000 AAs right now. So it's just a matter of getting all those done. All right, so that's the multi-bind. That's the spells. So let's keep going through the bar here. The burn. Now, I have them all over here. Silent casting just lowers our aggro. Heart of the Skyfire. Activate increases your damage on your spells by 90 to 145% and reduces the hatred they will generate by 60%, and the damage dealt by critical damage by 50% for 3 minutes. This is a pretty big one. It's not even maxed out, and it's pretty crazy, right? It doesn't look like it has any kind of limits on it, and this is the level 115 version, whatever it was auto granted to me, I believe. Let's see here, Spire of Elements. So this is another damage increasing kind of thing. Critical chance by 24%. See, companions, everybody gets Apex of the Elements, which increases damage. This increases damage. Really, there's too much stuff there to even talk about. Improved Twincast. Now, Improved Twincast does not stack with Twincast, fortunately. So if you do them at the same time, it's not going to work as well. Wow. It adds a spell. I need to get that. I just realized that I didn't have but it's 21, 21 at max level spells that can be Twincast. Now, if you just think about that, it's 21, if we did this, 21 of those, all these get Twincast except for this one. So it's a lot of damage that the mage can put out in a short period of time. It lasts for 2 minutes. And then Forceful Rejuvenation. Where is that one right here? This will refresh anything that's down. So, like if we cast this, it has a 9-second refresh. If we do Forceful, boom, I can do it again. And now I have 2 of these little guys chilling out, right? Now, if you think about it, I don't think I can get a third one. Let's see here. Let's see if I can get a third one here. All right, I got 3 of them. But you see, like, the potential here, right? If you time it just right. Now, I think one of them... No, they're both there. Get a 4th one, maybe. All right, we got 4. Oh, God. How many can I get? All right, we lost 1. All right, so we can get 4 using that spell. 3 without. That's potentially a lot of damage, considering how it affects of the many, right? So this spell, like, between 1 and 4 is 48, and then doubles when you hit 3. Just doing that, like I've doubled it. Getting to 7 is trivial if you do it right. So Forceful Rejuvenation is the last one there. And then the second burn button, Focus of Arcanium, just improves our resist modifier. Focus of where is this? Thaumaturge. This focus increases the base damage of all our spells by 60 to 70%, and then critical damage by 10% for a minute. And it increases the mana cost, but I'm not concerned about that right now. Frenzied Companion increases the pet's combat prowess, right? So this just makes the pet beefier, stronger, and enrages the pet. So you can see here, increases attack power by 820, critical hit chance by 50%, critical hits damage by 305%, performs flurry of attacks, 2 additional attacks on successful primary slot double attack by 79%. And you can see here, I'm missing 12 ranks of this thing, so imagine what it is at the other end. And then it also triggers Frenzied Burnout, which does even more crazy stuff. And then it has a chance to trigger a 120,000 proc. Insane amount of damage coming out of that. So, and then I have the clicky for the robe, which is use item 17. The Mage, I totally forgot the name of the class. The Mage is clicky, allows the pet to bash or backstab to trigger companion assault, which is 260,000 damage on procs on those backstabs or bashes, which if it's behind him, it'll backstab. It's in the front, it will bash. All right, so that is burn 2. Burn 3 is just Intensity of the Resolute, which is just a special AA that does a little bit of extra damage. 50, what is that? 50 critical damage and 55 critical melee. So it's useful. It doesn't stack with Glyph, which is the other focus or the other special thing. Now, I don't have the extra AAs right now for the glyphs, but you'd probably want like Glyph of Ultimate Power as your burn ability, right? So once you max your AAs, you can start buying these, and they're consumable. So you consume it, buy it again, consume it, buy it again. It's how you burn off that extra AAs at 125. But you can see here, it increases the base damage of melee by 15. Critical damage by 20, critical chance of pets by 15, critical damage of your pet by 20, critical damage of spells by 15, critical chance by 20. I mean, it's just insane damage for 2 minutes. Like if you were trying to burn something down that's just outside your like power, right? I used to use this on Zlandikar on like my first character set. Like they could barely kill Zlandikar, and then when I needed it, I would just pop this, and then I'd pop the tank one, Dragon Scales, I believe, on the tank, so he can't die, and then everybody else pops Ultimate Power. They were named something else, I believe, in the back then, but you'd pop it like that, and that extra damage pushes you over the top, and it trivializes content. It's probably mostly used for raids to, during burn phases and stuff like that to get that extra little damage. But yeah. Then I have a sit button. So all my characters, when I hit 0, they will sit. Watch. Everybody. Well, I have key maps off. There you go. Everybody sits. Everybody stands. Key maps back off. Drape of Shadows, which is our escape ability. Sometimes I'm like running this character through a zone, he'll get aggro, I just hit the escape, and I turn invis, and I just keep running. I constantly have double invis from the Bard going, and Cellos, so it's just very nice. Then I have a mount. The best mount we have on this character at the moment is the Golden Owlbear, which is not really that great. It's from Knight of Shadows. It only gives us 4,200 mana, so it's not fantastic, but it's nice. The newer one, the Phoenix one. I believe I have it on the Necromancer here because he's actually finished the last mission. I have not done Heroes Forge with these, but it's 5,200 mana for this one, so it's significantly better. I've not done the last mission with these guys yet. Mostly because I'm saving it. If I do a Persona, I want to get that bonus experience to the Persona. These guys hit 125 without it. Let's see here. My pet attack macro is pretty standard. X target 19. Pet attack, pet swarm, cast 2. Which is servant. And then it turns attack on. Now, depending on how you play, you probably want to melee with your casters. It's not practical for me, the way I play. But if we look here, now, if we look at my belt additional damage when I melee, right? So 1700 proc there. Surge of Ice is my weapon. I'm currently using Lori's Song, which procs, what is that? 11,000? So you can see here, it's doing 12,000 plus it twin casts when you proc it as a weapon sometimes. And then it crit for 67,000. So just my melee damage alone right here is actually pretty significant if you think about it. Now, if you if you can position your characters in melee, all the more power to you, because you're going to want to do that, right? It's worth that extra damage. You also can proc these weapons by casting spells. It's called sympathetic. Oh jeez, look at that. Lucky critical twin cast, 540k and then 729k. That's insane. But you want it's right here, sympathetic ice. So if you cast a spell, it'll also cast it, but it's not as much as the melee procs. And then with the other stuff going on here, the bard songs and all that stuff, there's a synergy going on there that would allow them to proc a lot more than you would think. Let's see here, and then debuff. So I have this debuff macro, so it will eradicate magic, dispels any negative effects, then it will mallow, and then it will pet attack, pet swarm. Now, I don't do this as much, because like when I do this, you saw that the Necromancer did his debuffs and the Shaman did slow. I don't slow a lot of stuff, and I don't debuff a lot of stuff. But when I do, I want everything mallowed and everything debuffed as much as possible. So the Mage gets in on that. I do not mallow with the Shaman because the Shaman is casting slow when I'm doing mallow. This saves me time long term, because if I have the Shaman wait, she has to cast mallow. Let's say 2 seconds later she can cast slow, right? That's 2 seconds of time I've lost that the Mage could have done that, right? And they hit about the same time, the way I have the macro set up. So it works out pretty well. Pet attack, pet swarm, so it's pretty standard there. Short duration buffs. So this is cast 9. The Veil, which gives cloaks your target in a molten veil. Flames will frequently lash out at attacking creatures, causing them to do that. So it's something you want to put on the tank. I don't think it would work very well on anybody else. 10, which is the Boiling Skin, which is just another damage shield for 19,000. So we're getting 30 seconds, 4 strikes. And then 8, which is Valiant Symbiosis, which is a mana regeneration spell. It's there because if I'm lucky, I can recast it and get more mana regen when I do that. Let's see here. Summoner Step. This just teleports us forward. Don't really ever use it. Bind Affinity binds yourself in a new location. I don't really use it because I bind all my characters in guild lobby, so I can gate them all back. their mass group buff. So, you know, you're in guild lobby, you want to buff everybody. Mass group buff will make your group buffs hit everybody. Then this next row is just a bunch of teleportation items. For my follow macro, I have attack off. So if I have attack on and I invis, it breaks invis. So all my characters turn off attack. They target X target 1. X target 1 is usually the character I'm playing from. And thus, I want everybody to follow that character. And then stand up, because it doesn't work if you're sitting. And then follow. Uses the in-game follow. And then invite. So if you invite somebody that you invited you will join their group. And it just makes it easier for me to form my groups. All my characters, except for the X target 1 character, has that same macro in that same spot. And then all the little different teleportation things. The Lorien Zen, the Trump sign, turnip sign, the Northern Outlook device for getting to, what is it called? North Row to do the tower, anniversary towers, the Drunkenstein to get the plane of knowledge, the 2 different guild teleportation. Well, they're anchors. I use them to teleport back here to the guild hall, and then I have 2 of those because if I'm doing a lot of stuff, I need a lot of teleports. Gate puts me right outside the door in guild lobby to click to go back into the guild hall. Then I have the Fellowship Insignia, which will teleport me to my campfire, Origin, and Throne of Heroes. Origin is, I believe, Crescent Reach on this character. Yeah, Crescent Reach. And then Throne of Heroes puts me back in Guild Lobby. Guild Lobby is like the hub on the server for buffs and all that stuff. And plus easy access to the Guild Hall, which allows me to get more teleporters and whatnot. Not really as important now at 125, since I can just go to Lorien's Song. And that's where I'm going to be going if I'm not going to the anniversary towers or anything like that. So it just depends. See, Harmonic Dissonance. This just teleports you to the Theater of Blood. Summon Agent summons a vendor to use. Then these are experience potions. I got 9 of them. I thought I would... It's mostly from the bags I claimed. You get all the bags and stuff, plus the stores monthly. I was claiming those. I didn't know how many I would need to get to 125, so I did claim those as much as I could and whatnot. Let's see here. This is the multi-bind bar. We went through all these. Arcane Whisper, Lures Hatred, Host of Elements, Force of Elements. I think I went through all those. And then Lesson of the Devout is a experience buff that everybody gets at about, I think 85 or so. I don't know. You can use it at level 1 on live, but on TLPs it's going to be like 85 or so. But increases your experience by 100% for 30 minutes. Definitely want to be burning your lesson every day in some place that you can kill a lot of mobs, kind of thing. Over here on this bar, I have my modulation shard button. It just summons me another one. It just, works for me. I used to have a button for auto inventory. I guess I have it on my hide corpse button. I auto inventory anything, which foraging, right, gives you an item, you auto inventory it. You summon a mod rod, you want to auto inventory it. All my characters have their auto inventory button on the same thing. Everybody gets a mod rod when I cast this if they don't already have one. It's great. The rest of this bar is all the stuff that's in the burn, just so I can see what's up, what's not. Elemental conversion just converts pet health into mana. I have it there so I can see if it's up. It used to be a problem. I was always running like 20% mana constantly. And then the Unified Phoenix Feather here. So this increases our... gives us a 1600 point damage shield. Increases our mana, health, and endurance regeneration by 1000. Each of my characters has one of these. I just click it I click it on cooldown on the tank, and then whenever I need resources, I kind of cycle through each character and I manually click whatever one I need. Just kind of to keep that going. Really helps with mana regeneration and stuff like that. It's like a mini Paragon, if you will. Ideally, I'd want a Beast Lord in this group. Probably to replace the Shaman with a Beast Lord would probably be the smartest thing I could possibly do. Just to make sure we always have mana, but here we are. Arcane Distillect. This is that pet buff, increases pet damage. This is a damage shield macro. I think I showed these earlier. Ice Flame Palisade macro, Burnout macro. All these do is just memorize the spell and then go back to my normal spell set. Makes it so I can do this. I can click like Burnout. Oh, it's already memorized. Here, let's cancel that. Let her finish. I'll show here in a second what I do. So, okay, we want to do Ice Flame. I click Ice Flame. She's gonna, come on. She's like desynced. There we go. She's gonna memorize that, and then I'll go over here to like the other character, and I'll be like, all right, I want Agio. She does that, and then like, well, you need pet haste. And then I'll come over here to the Shaman. Well, everybody needs focus, right? And so I can just click that, and I don't have to think about it anymore, right? It's very simple. And then they memorize their back to their normal spell set, which is fantastic for me because it saves me time and makes it easier to multi-box. Then I have a button for Call a Hero. I also have one over here. So if I'm pulling, and I can just hit 2 while I'm pulling without having to switch screen, and it will call whoever's targeted. Typically, like it doesn't have a target on it, so you know, it's I gotta premeditate that. Eradicate Magic, just a macro for the spell. Don't really have to dispel as much as you'd think so anymore, but there are some mobs with damage shields, and you gotta do that. Suspend Companion. So if I hit that right now, my pet goes away. Oh, I must be at peace first. Never mind. Let me stop him. Back. He done? Alright. Suspend Companion. This one will get summoned. He's gone. I could summon another pet. Here, I can do that right here. I can summon this pet. Now, notice this one has no buffs. I can hit Suspend Companion. And they swap. This is the buffed one. Different name and everything. Useful if you want 2 pets. I always forget and I just make another one. I keep summon pet up at all times for, you know, if it dies, I can put another one out real quick. I don't have to memorize the spell. Companion's Fury just increases pet combat paralysis. The Burnout one we talked about earlier. Companion's Aegis, we talked about this one, just gives it a shield for 50,000 damage. Hostess Shell shields your pet in rooms, absorbing 25% of incoming damage, up to 17,000 per hit, up to 300,000 total. Very useful spell for getting some stuff done there. All right, hosting the shell, you know, absorbs some stuff. Then we have Fortify. Companion's Fortification just makes the pet tankier. Increases the base health as a passive by 80%. It does all this stuff and just does this incredible tankiness, like even more damage reduction. Like, these pets are like better tanks than ungeared tanks. Then I have a clicky for my familiar. Every character wants a familiar. You get these from doing the missions and stuff like that. If we look at the achievement here, this one is from Night of Shadows. What is this one from? Missions? General. Paragon and Night of Shadows, doing all the missions, you get that. So, I have not completed Heroes Forge on any of these characters except the Necromancer. Otherwise, I would have the Beaver or Badger pet, whatever it is, for all of them. I just haven't done it yet. And completing all of the quests gives you the mount, I believe. There's stuff like that. You get a lot of rewards for doing all the content. Shrink Companion. This lets you shrink your pet. You can also use your earring if you want. Elemental form. I keep this buff at all times. Don't ever lose it. But it gives you a significant amount of health, mana regeneration, all the other benefits that come with that. Let's see here. Valiant Symbiosis, that mana regen, and Thaumaturge's Unity, which gives us all of our Unity spells in a single buff, or not Unity, our self buffs. So Chaotic Magnanimity, Valor Forged, Bodyguard, Shield of Memories, Courageous Guardian. It's all there. And then our self buff button here is just pretty much clicking all those in a single button. All right. All right, let's wrap this up talking about gear, and we can go from there. So the most important piece of gear, I think, is the arms. The focus effect is fire-based spells between 105 120% all the way up to 130. This is tier 1 arms, so the Gallant level of armor. It's definitely worth having the best arms you can get when it comes to that, just for that focus. The helmet does magic based, so if you're using the magic based nuke instead, I don't ever use it, so it is what it is. You're gonna also want the robe just for this click effect, and I don't know what changes from robe tier to robe tier. I have not gotten a tier 2 breastplate yet. Let's see here. Currently, the since it's the 25th anniversary, your Dark Paw stuff is going on, so you're gonna want the best summoning earring you can get. I have 2 items. I have the tier 2 from the mission. It is enhanced minion. What is that? 26. Whereas the tower one is enhanced minion 26 also. So it's the same effect. Get whatever one you can get. You want the highest luck you can get on it. I got luck 30 on that one. I only had 29 on this one. So luck is a very important skill, or a stat, I guess. You want to get as high as luck as you can get. I got 276 at the moment on the character. Ideally, you'd want to get that up as high as you can. Now, I think this character, I have the cloak from Night of Shadows, but currently for me, the cloak from the tower is a little bit better. And, same luck values, but it's given me more of the stats at the moment. Once I do all the progression in Night of Shadows to unlock all the different upgrades on the cloak, it could, in theory, be close to or better than this one. But this one also has the slot 25 AUG slot, which gives me an extra, all of this. So you're not going to get this on this cloak. It does have a type slot 18. I don't have any slot 18 AUGs at the moment, so I have no idea what I could be putting in there. I don't know if they're as good as this. If not, I just haven't researched it because I haven't gotten to that point yet. But, I mean, it is what it is there. And, the tower gear has earrings, face, shoulders, charm at the moment. I'm sure there's going to be a range item, belt, rings, and who knows what else is going to come by the time the thing's done. They're going to run out of stats. They all come with. There's also AUGs you want to get, right? I have the Topaz of Evocation. This is from the 25th anniversary quest, I believe is what it was, which gives us 15% extra evoke for an extra +5 to that. If we look at our skills, I have no idea what that actually does, but I'm sure it is something useful. So you can see here my evoke is up to where is the evoke? There it is, 420. So it doesn't look like it's doing anything. Oh no, it's specialized evocation. All right, this one is the one that got it right. It's not normal evoke, it's this one. So you can see here where our normal skill is at 300 and we get 45 points out of that. So I believe that will save us mana long term from the specialization. of how that works. But yeah, so you're gonna want that. For heroic augs, I go with intellect. Intellect seems to be where you want to go with mage. I know I go heroic stamina on like almost all my characters, but increases the size of the mana pool. Let me see here. You could probably mouse over it and get all the info here. Yeah, I guess you can't mouse over it anymore. You used to be able to mouse over it. It would tell you. There we go. Determines your mana and influences your chance to raise skills. Probably not as useful, but the mana really helps. Like I do a lot of, it's a lot of nuking on this character, and up until just recently, like I put in a little bit more mana regen from some of these other augs and stuff from the tower gear to push me over into that, 900 plus, mana regen. I was having mana issues, and so having a larger pool of mana will, help you get to that point at a later date. I don't know. It's what I'm going for right now. I don't plan on personifying this character at all, because Mage is the best DPS class for boxing. If anything, I'm going to turn my Necromancer into a Mage, because that would make things a million times easier. Because the Mage is probably one of the best classes. So for power source, you're going to want whatever best power source you can get. The Convoker one is really good. I have a Conjurer one here too from the Gleaming Silver. I think this is from one of the events, but you can see this one's slightly better. It gives more hit points, more mana regen, and more intelligence. Now the Conjurer one, this one in particular, I believe is from the 25th anniversary event, and I didn't repeat that enough to get a lot of those. Let me see if I have one on the Necromancer. What's he got? All right, he has the Ember Quartz one. So this is the Lorien's Song version. So this 11 mana regen. We go back over here to the other one. This is 12 mana regen. So the 25th anniversary one is slightly better than the power sources from Lorien's Song. But I didn't repeat it enough to get enough extra ones to keep forever. But there's always next year, right, to farm up a bunch of those. Now that they changed the augs, that evocation aug here, these used to be a lore group with all the other ones. Now they're not, so it's worth repeating that mission and getting more augs. So, here I have the Conjuration one also, which increases specialization. Conjurization, which makes summoning my pets cost less mana and stuff like that. So definitely worth getting those during the anniversary event. But for the most part, this character is fairly bare bones when it comes to gear, because I gear my tank first, and it's a trickle down effect, trickle down economy, if you will. It works. Weapon wise, you're gonna want to go with the two-hander, the best two-hander you can get. Now, I say that if you have access to a one-hander, you're gonna want to use that if it's better, right? Like, don't be like, hey, I have to use the two-hander, because, like, take a look at this. This is 11,000 damage there. If we go over to my Necromancer, he has the problem. So this is the one-hander. Now, if, say I had the raid one-hander, and let's say it was like 8,000 damage or something like that. I don't know what the difference is, but that you'd use that over like a group version, right? So this is the group tier 1 two-hander. You would want to then go to tier 2, which you probably get in the mission. I don't know why I don't have another one yet. You'd also want to go to the crafted one if you get the what is it called? They're called power. Essences of power. I guess I don't have any on you. Do I have any on you? I must have put them all in the bank or something. I don't know. I thought I had more stuff on me. Yeah, those are for augs, I think. I don't know. But you know, the best two-hander you can get. If not, the raid one-handers over the group version would work. You're going to get more mana regeneration with a shield. This is the tower's shield dog. You can see here it's, you know, 30 intelligence, 30 stamina, and 16 mana regen. That alone would help a lot with mana regeneration issues. You can't put it on a two-hander, which is unfortunate, but that one is almost equivalent to the... There it is. This one right here. This is the group AUG for shields. So you can see it's pretty much the same. Here, I think I can pull both up right at the same time on my paladin here. Yeah, they are. There's 1 more AC on this one and 8 more hit points on the tower version, whereas the group dropped version is pretty much the same otherwise. It just depends, you know, like if you can buy this, it's only like 5 tokens or so, like that, maybe 10. I would buy that just in case you do get a raid one-hander and you want to switch to that. You could, if I haven't done the DPS, right? So I don't know, but if you have a shield, like tier 2 shield, tier 2 weapon, which would be this weapon right here, I believe, you might get more mileage out of it. I should probably test it here on my Necromancer, but it's like different, right? The Necromancer doesn't cast as many spells because they're dots, right? So it's hard for me to judge that. And since this is not a free trade server, I can't just give them to my mage and be like, hey, let's figure this out. So that's something to consider. But I'm using the tier 1 staff on my Necromancer also over that at the moment. But I might switch them out to see. Like, proc-wise, it's half the damage, but, you know, if there's something else there that it can benefit, like the extra health and mana regeneration from that AUG there, then it would be definitely worth it, possibly, to have that extra 15 or 16 mana regen plus the heroic stats there, pushing us into... higher heroic value. Like we only have 1400 heroic intelligence at the moment. I would ideally want that to be into the 2000s, 2800 mark, and that's because I'm missing type 5s on almost all my gear. Like if we look for it, I think this one right here, Stone Shade of Intellect. No, that's the previous one, Rekindled Ember. Yeah, okay. So the Rekindled Ember is the Lorien's Song one, and the Shadestone is the Night of Shadows. Now I do both missions to get currency, like to farm those things, right? So like I'm almost at another AUG there for a type 5, and I'm almost there for another type 5 AUG, which would be, you know, 2 type 5 AUGs. Obviously, I can replace some of these no type 5s in some of them slots, like the belt has nothing. So you'd want to max all that out as much as you can, and then focus on AAs and stuff while you're doing that. But yeah, I think that's like everything. Like I've kind of been rambling here. I don't know if I missed anything. If I did, I should have outlined it, but I didn't. So here we are. But overall, the Mage class is a fantastic class. Solo, you can solo stuff, not as well as a Necromancer because of some of the utility a Necromancer has, but if you have the mob solo without, you know, worrying about stuff, the Mage is fantastic. It provides a lot of utility to a group, a lot of utility to a box group, a lot of utility just to play the game. You know, say you're only playing like one other character and you just want to play a Mage, you'd be doing well. You do well as a Mage in a raid. They have a lot of utility in the sense of, like, you know, Call of Hero, the mod rods, and all of the other little tidbits that they can do. Plus, they do a lot of damage. My Mage does more damage than my Necromancer on short fights, on medium fights, and sometimes in long fights. Like the Night of Shadows mission where you get stunned by the, like, it's just like a run and burn as fast as you can kind of thing. On that fight, my Necromancer gets stunned and like he stops casting dots, whereas the way I'm spamming, actions with the Mage, she's constantly doing damage. She has her pet doing damage. It's just constant damage, and she doesn't have to worry about damage over time. So it works out. But if you have any questions or comments, please let me know. But that is how I play my 125 Mage. Thank you very much for watching, and please have a fantastic day.